Okay, so I attempted to actually explain what has happened with my wheelchair situation. Okay, I'm not gonna do this because it's making me dizzy. Watching this. I'm gonna use the elevator. Um, but yes, I tried to explain my wheelchair situation. I started rambling a little bit because I was trying to get through the tutorial area, and I think it glitched out on me. So what I'm doing, just for your edification, is I am playing a variety of games that kind of help navigate my lovely neurospiciness so that I can talk through what is going on with me without getting super duper, like, derailed by it, basically, because I will go off on tangents in regards to what's going on. But the reason I was doing that in this game in particular, hold on, I'm going to kind of do. Why are we navigating home? What are we navigating to? Anyway, so what I am doing right now is I'll give you guys like a brief like Cliff Notes version of what is going on, what this game is, blah 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 blah. She looks janky. And you know what? We will sit at a bar and look at our... Oh, that place is closed. We will sit at a bar that is open, and I will explain everything that's going on. Oh man, that guy's legs do not match the back. He got a BBL. One second. Let's see. One of these places has to be open. Open? Nope. I'm trying to avoid getting mugged. That's the big one. Because, like, in this game, you can be mugged. See. So the reason I'm looking like this, that one's locked too. What about this one? Oh, maybe it's, you know what? Let's just go to City Hall. We can lurk in City Hall. There's probably somewhere to sit in City Hall, and I can show you guys coherently what is going on. Okay, so I'm in the middle of a game that helps me kind of redirect my thoughts when I'm really stressed out about things going on in life, as well as just everything that's going on. So this is just a game I'm using to explain my situation, just like Star Wars. The only reason I'm not playing Star Wars right now, for anyone who's curious, is I have hit a point in Star Wars where I've been playing with my friends, and if I do any type of progression at this point, I will get past them, like really, really past them very quickly. And I don't really feel like starting a new character over just yet, because funny enough, the character I think I filmed for you guys the first time actually was a starter character I started like 3 or 4 weeks ago when this all happened, and she is already like level 56. So I'm not really in the mood to do that all over again with a new character. So I'm going to try to jump around and basically make a playlist called the Wheelchair Chronicles for anyone who's wondering what is going on with me and the wheelchair. So the most recent update we have is I was in the ER on Friday due to what is called, I think it's called tachycardia, where your heart starts racing really, really fast. But I literally only went to urgent, like all this started because I went to urgent care for allergies. They mowed the lawn around my house, and then I got congested, and all this inflamed snot was going down my throat. My husband was just recovering from bronchitis and an ear infection, and my son had a cough too, but they tested him, and they said he didn't have like anything that needed medication. So then I was like, okay, now I have something. Let me go get this checked, make sure I don't have anything. Luckily, none of us have COVID, and I think they tested us for the flu was the other one. So we all went to urgent care on different days within the past like week and a half, and we all have a cough. Somehow my cough is not as bad as their cough, so like mine is just kind of gross of me coughing up whatever's kind of stuck up in my throat and all the postnasal drip, and it's making my stomach upset. Very gross, not fun to deal with. So I went to urgent care because my nose was burning. Wheeled my happy behind in there. But before I went in there, they opened at 8. So before they opened, I rode around through the Starbucks window, and I went to McDonald's too. If my husband's watching, yes, I went to McDonald's. Don't get on me. I don't care. Because I had to get something to eat. Because I learned from my last time when I took medication, I threw up. I was like, you know what? Let me eat before I take medication. So I took my mental health medication that they've ramped up the dosage because it allegedly can help with nerve pain. And then I also took my other medication that I want to say a doctor mentioned it was a muscle relaxer, but I don't think they did a good job of making me understand, hey, muscle relaxer, don't pop that medication while you're out and about. You will get lethargic or whatever. Because I've taken it a few times. I've been on it for about a month now. And I usually don't really have that kind of super duper grogginess like that I've noticed. So this was kind of different. But anyway, I took the medication and I felt fine. So I went in there in the wheelchair, and because again, I can't walk that great. So I went in there and they were super helpful. They were super kind, and they were like, hey, what are you here for? And I was like, well, I think I have a sinus infection. And they're just like, okay, you have a sinus infection. So, what's going on? And I said, well, my nose is burning. It hurts. My ears are a little plugged up, XYZ. Okay. So they put me over in a room. They take my blood pressure and they put that little thing on your finger to kind of figure out what is going on. And okay, so that's that. And then this is that. So this is the last phone call. We're going to put that over here. I'm also organizing the crime, and I'll explain this to you after I finish getting through my mental loops of what happened. So also I think he's a size 12. Also, why is this one? Yeah, he's a size 12. We're going to put that over there. I'm pretty sure the killer is a size 15. Anyway, also the killer's fingerprint is type A. And we got his type B. Then we've got this. Anyway, so, and then I'll put this next to this so we know why. They were looking at everything. They took my blood pressure and all that, and then they started whispering. And I'm just like, what's going on? And they asked me, like, hey, why are you in a wheelchair? And I was like, well, told them the whole spiel, like Cliff Notes version of what I've told you guys about what happened, the reason I'm in a wheelchair in the first place. Well, after I told them that, more whispering happens, and I'm kind of just like, should I be concerned? Like, what's going on? And the doctor says, hey, your heart's racing a little fast, so we want to go ahead and monitor it for a minute because you might need to go to the ER today. And I'm just like, well, I don't want to go to the ER. And she was like, it's too damn bad. She didn't say it like that. She was really sweet. That's the vibes I got, was the girl from Holes being savage. And just for that, I'm going to see if I cannot find the video clip, I'm going to put the meme in there right here. So yeah, she said that basically it's not normal for your heart to race at like, what was it? She said it hit 140, like it hit 130, then it jumped up to 140, and then eventually I think it hit 150. And so she got really, really concerned. And she's like, well, what's going on? Have you had a lot of coffee? I was like, well, no, I had, a couple sips of my coffee, but I didn't get to finish my coffee. She's like, okay, that's not it. And I was like, okay, so what else could it be if it's not my coffee? And she was like, well, what medications are you on? So because I've gotten used to them asking what drugs am I on, I dumped out my entire bag of drugs onto the counter, and I was like, these are the drugs I am on. Where are the drugs going? I was like, hey, that's what I got. These are the medications I'm on. And she looked at them and she said, no, none of that should do this. And I was like, okay. So then they tracked me again. They tried to wait and see if I would calm down. And basically it didn't calm down. And so then she's like, yeah, we're going to have you go to the ER today. And I was like, well, shit. I just want to finish running my errands and get my kids' stuff squared away so he can do sports this summer, XYZ. And they're like, well, too bad. You're going to ER. So she wrote me a lovely little, like, yellow note It was kind of like the note you send to like a teacher or something, like your doctor's sick note. And I was like, well, they didn't take me seriously last time I went to the ER about everything that's going on. What's to say this is going to be different? And she's like, I can't guarantee anything, but I'm hoping that me giving you this note, they're going to take it a little bit more seriously and kind of rush you in to check what's going on with your heart. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go in there. There's a wait. In the meantime, I call my husband, let my friends know what's going on, just in case one of them had to pick up my child. And funny enough, my group chat for my friends with everything that is going on, I'm looking because I cannot remember what I labeled it. Let's see, I'm going to tell you guys because it is kind of funny. I called it the crippled situation group chat. So they are all in lockstep about everything that's going on. And I texted them, I was like, hey guys, I'm going to the ER today. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, apparently I need to go to the ER for whatever's going on. And so when I tell you, my friends jumped up and were like, look, we will pick up your child. Don't worry about your child. One of my other friends, because my husband, I had ironically just dropped him off at work. And apparently the time frame of everything just kind of worked out. So like by the time, because I was there for a minute, I think I was there for about 3 hours. So by the time the ER announcement happened, I had been there for about 3 hours. So my husband was actually done because it was a Friday. So he actually got out of work early. And one of my friends actually is working with him, and she was able to drive him to the urgent care I was at. So I didn't have to figure out driving myself or like leaving my car and calling 911, XYZ. So I was sitting in the driver's seat. I locked myself in the car because I was, low-key paranoid if someone noticed someone asleep in a car, because I was getting like lightheaded and dizzy a little bit. So I went ahead and locked myself in the car. I didn't fall asleep, but I did get a little dizzy. So my husband shows up and he's like, hey, honey, we're going to the ER, aren't we? And I was like, yeah. And so then he was like, okay, get out the car. Let's get you on the other side. So when he got me out the car, I did let him know I was lightheaded. He was trying to take me to the other side of the car, and then my legs decided to go, nope. And so they kept giving out repeatedly. So I was like dragging my legs along as he's trying to walk me to the other side of the car. And apparently the coffee shop that is next to the urgent care I went to is very popular for the police officers to go to for their coffee in the morning. So like 3 cops come over and they're like, hey, you need some help? Like, are you good? And so I'm like, help would be lovely. So they help my husband go ahead and get me out of the driver's side of the car and then put me on the passenger side. And they helped him like keep me from slapping my head on the wall and all this jazz. And I was just like super appreciative. Let's see. All right, let's see. Is it gonna lock me in? Oh, I don't know her password. I gotta find her password. Okay. Now we know who we're looking for. That's a weird picture. Anyway, yeah, so they helped me get in the car. So my husband drove me over to ER. And if you guys are actually actively watching what I'm doing, I will explain that what I am doing is looking for a computer that is unlocked or has a passcode next to it so that I can break into the computer and find out people's fingerprint information if possible. But I think I'm skipping a step doing this. So what I need to do is, because I'm talking, I'm not really reading it, but I will explain in the video what exactly needs to happen. So basically what you got to do is sit down, read all the information you have, and you might actually be able to figure out a name. So because I'm not sure who may have murdered him, the way this is organized actually makes a lot of sense to me, and I will explain it in a second. What I'm going to do is actually go see what this 548-2345. Let's see if this is in his list of numbers real quick. Nope, looks like it's not someone he knows. I don't see a 548. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Then we're going to check his diary real quick. He mentioned someone named Angel. We're going to figure out who Angel is. Might be a suspect. Let's see. This is supposed to help. The group leader said so. Don't know what to put down, but Angel said it sounded like a good idea. Everything sounds like a good idea, he says. Trying to cut out... Oh, okay. Cut out the starch. Good day today. Okay, Angel's mentioned. Okay, we also have Arya. Friday, Arya called. We're gonna figure out who Arya is as well. Tried to get out, didn't want to, but Arya just laughed, told me it was in my blood, like the starch, okay? Alright, so we got 2 names just from that, and then we're also going to check his business that he works at, and we're gonna put that, hold on, that goes here. Alright, so navigate there, and we're also gonna put that right there. Alright, so we're gonna go to his business and figure out if he works with an Arya or a Angel. But anyway, so I will explain everything I just did really quickly in a minute. I'm just trying to progress instead of standing in one spot now that I've organized all my information. Yeah, so, we went to the hospital. They immediately, took my information, registered me, all that jazz. And then they did an EKG. And the lady said, just try to be calm. If it's really, really serious, I will run and get a crash cart. If you see, she basically said, if you see me running, then you should panic. But if I'm not running, it's all good. Problem is, I did not go into urgent care about my back because I know nobody is really taking my back or my legs seriously right now. So I was wearing shapewear to hold my spine in place because it's hurting so bad. And basically, I didn't intend to get an EKG on Friday. So what happened is, I ended up getting stripped down for them to do an EKG on me. And it was not fun. We're about to do something Chaos Goblin-y in a second. Let's see if this door is open first. Nobody's there? Okay, cool. I'm about to be a Chaos Goblin because I'm talking and whatever. Bloop. Alright, open. We're gonna... Security door breakers. Let's see. Security door. Nope. Security system. We're gonna turn that off. Close. Okay, mind your business. And then we're going to... lockpick this bad boy. We are doing Chaos Goblin-y things, and people are watching me. I just don't care. Okay. Yeah. So then they had me sit down. They gave me a mask. They were really, really nice about it. Is this gonna shoot me? Nope. Okay, we're gonna close that door up. And what is this? Let's see, what is this? Hearing aid. I don't want that. Nope. I need... Alright, let's see. We're gonna get this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting all the names of who works here. Because I don't really need their information here per se, unless there's an important fingerprint. But right now, okay, there's an Angel who works here. Okay. And we're gonna stack that up. Lily Carter. And who's this? Okay, so that's everybody who works here. Cool. We're going to... Nothing? Open? We're gonna go in here. It's just a bathroom. Alright. We gotta do this quick before the alarms start going off. So that is what I'm doing. Did I go in this door? Why is this door locked? Lockpick. Please hurry up. Please hurry up. Please hurry up. Yeah. So... What is this? What is this? Cardboard box. File cabinet. Nope. File cabinet. Nope. File cabinet. Alright. Inspect. Thank you. Next. Inspect. Thank you. Inspect. Thank you. Oop. Inspect. Thank you. I'm doing some Chaos Goblin-y stuff right now. So, I have broken into this office. I have gotten, I think, everybody's information. Close. And I think I got everything I could possibly want or need from this office, I think. I could break into the computers, but I don't really Last time I did that, it wasn't very useful. All right. So now that I got that information, I'm going to go sit back in the city hall and look through what I got and go from there. Anyway, so back to the medical things, because some people are probably like, I don't really care about what the game you play. I just want to know what's going on with this like wheelchair stuff. So they ended up not really telling me what was going on. I was getting a little scared because I was like, what is wrong with my heart racing like that? Like, I know it's not good for your heart to race like that, but can you guys like tell me what you're thinking, what's going on? Give me a general idea. Please tell me something. And so, let's see. Where is the map for City Hall? Nope. 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 I don't need that. City Hall should be like a standard button. Ground floor lobby. No. Alright, so we're going to zoom out and see if I can find City Hall this way. Nope. That's too far. Right, can I move this? Where are we? It would be lovely if I could just... Oh, okay. Where is... Nope. Fort Juniper. Fantastic. What would City Hall symbol be? Is this City Hall? Right. Alright. Plot route. Okay, there we go. Cool. Yeah. I'm on a new city, so I get lost a little bit easier to give myself some I feel ashamed that it was literally around the corner. Anyway, we're going to sit back on this desk and sit down. So, yeah. Basically, they didn't want to tell me anything, I guess, because they didn't want to spook me, but they were trying to figure out what was going on. So, next thing that you know, they do a stroke test, and apparently I popped on the stroke test for something because I was showing weakness in my right arm. They had me do this like boop test where they had me boop my nose, then boop a finger and follow it, and I couldn't do it with my right arm. And I was a little embarrassed I couldn't do it. Then there was weakness. Then there was consistent nausea. And so then they had me just put on a hospital gown because they couldn't get to anything with the shapewear on. So I asked for 2 because I didn't want my booty out. And then they took a bunch of blood. Then they had me pee in a mobility, like, disabled toilet potty thing. And so I had to sit there and use that. And they took samples of the pee, but they did not take the pee away. So then I had pee sitting in my room for like an hour or so. And I was just like, this is kind of gross. Like, please let this go away. Then I feel like my husband said it wasn't this long, but it felt like a couple hours just sitting in a room with my own urine. And then MRI people show up finally after a couple hours of waiting and nobody really checking on me to tell me what was going on after doing the stroke test. And so they're like, yeah, you're going to do an MRI. They took me upstairs to do the MRI. And turns out my brain's fine. Nothing's actually happening with my brain. But they were still kind of concerned as to why my heart was racing and stuff. But they were like, nothing's really going on. So then they sent a neurologist in there to, like, examine the results. And then he kind of was very condescending and rude. And he asked me, he's like, did you buy that wheelchair or were you prescribed a wheelchair? And I was like, well, I bought this wheelchair, but I was also prescribed a wheelchair, but TRICARE can't get themselves together to actually give me said wheelchair. So here we are with this wheelchair. And so the guy was kind of just like, oh, okay. And I don't think he fully believed me when I said it like that. And so then he said, well, your brain looks fine, and I don't really see what there is we can do here. You're just going to have to wait until you see the funny thing was, I think he said see the neurologist as I'm talking to a neurologist because he's a neurologist. He's like, you're going to have to wait until you see the back surgeon to decide what needs to happen with the disc because there's no reason for you to be in a wheelchair. And I'm like, the reason is my legs give out randomly and I plop onto the ground. So this is a safety measure to make sure I don't fall down and like hurt myself. And so he was just like, okay, whatever, and left. And so I talked to this lovely black nurse, and I'm telling her, like, hey, I don't feel like I'm being really seen or represented. And so she talked to somebody and some stuff got squared away. But the funny thing was, when I went up for the MRI, I told the MRI guy what had happened, and he was shocked when he came in there. He's like, are you sitting here with your own pee? And I was like, yeah, they didn't take my pee away. And he's like, that's not good. And I was like, well, that's where I'm at. They, left my pee here. And so then he said, he straight up told me, hey, you need to talk to like patient advocacy, like not patient advocacy, what do you call it? Nurse admin, like ask to speak with nurse admin, and they will get themselves together. And so basically what happened is we talked to my husband went out there and was like, hey, we need to talk to nurse admin. But he also did talk to, what was it? He talked to the nurses before I came back because he was like, there's no reason my wife should have to sit in here with her own urine for any amount of time like this. Like this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, why can't you guys take the pee away? And so by the time I came back from my MRI, the pee was gone. But it was just like the fact that it happened at all was unacceptable. So I went ahead and got the MRI done. I actually took a nap in there. It was very weird, but like, they strapped me to the table. They actually missed my ring, even though everybody had checked me like 2 or 3 times. Luckily, my ring didn't snatch my finger off. But also, I think I picked him up twice somehow. Anyway, yeah. So they did the MRI, and it was of my head. So I think that's why the ring didn't like snatch off my finger. Is what's going on. It did vibrate a lot while the machine was going, but it didn't snatch my finger off. Anyway, so, why is that one connected, but this one's not? We'll figure that out in a second. We got 3 of these things. Okay. We'll figure that out in a second. So yeah, so they did the MRI, took a while to get results, and the neurologist said, I don't see why you're here because you seem fine, blah, 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 blah. And so then, couple more hours roll by. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since breakfast time when I ate the food to take my medication. And after I talked to the really nice black nurse about how I felt like I wasn't being seen, all of a sudden, and the nurse admin request for my husband, all of a sudden, when I tell you I got better care, people were coming to check on me, asking me what I needed. And then there was this one nurse who kept coming in there asking me if I needed medication for the pain, and then would dip out and not give me medication. And I kind of felt like, it felt a little sus. I was like, why are we asking me for medication? Like, if I need medication and then not bring it? Like, are you logging it and then not giving it to me? Like, what is going on? And it happened like 2 or 3 times. And like, they were kind of shocked when they asked me, well, how much is your pain right now? I was like, it's like a solid 7. But they were like, but you're not, what are you here for? I'm like, I'm not here for my back or my leg. They do hurt. I am in pain, but you guys are like, you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on my heart. And I just wanted to get my congestion looked at. And they're like, well, why aren't you here about your leg pain? I'm like, because I've been here before and you guys didn't care the first time. So what makes this any different than the first time? So, basically they realized that nothing was wrong. I wasn't having a stroke, an embolism, aneurysm, any of those bad things that could be happening. And eventually, the doctor came in and talked to me and said that it's not right that you're in a wheelchair. I don't usually do MRIs for everyone. I only do MRIs when I think it's something serious. That's why, it took so long, because the MRIs are a pain in the butt to do. He said that it looks like the medication may have caused the heart racing, the weakness on one side, things like that. But he said, keep an eye on it, let my primary care know. And there was something else he said that I can't remember right now. But basically, he came to the conclusion that everything that was going on was medication related. And I was just pissed because I spent the entire day from like 9:30 in the morning to like 5 o'clock in the evening for them to tell me, oh, it's probably your medications. And I was like, I guessed that when I first came in. I didn't even come in here for all of this. I just wanted to see if I needed antibiotics because my sinuses were burning. So I did get a little bit of shade from both the doctors about the wheelchair. The ER doctor was a lot more gentle about it. He was like, there's no, like, he wasn't saying that I shouldn't be in the wheelchair now for the safety measures. He's saying that there's no reason I should be in the wheelchair. Like, they should have taken care of this by now, was what he was saying. Now, the neurologist, on the other hand, I don't think he believed me when I said I had a prescription for a wheelchair. Like, I don't remember off the top of my head what they wrote on that doggone prescription. They didn't even send me the right wheelchair, and I still haven't gotten the right wheelchair now. I still have the 40-plus pound wheelchair sitting at my front door while waiting on these people to call me and get themselves together and get me the correct wheelchair. In the meantime, I did order myself a ultra lightweight wheelchair off of Amazon, and I'm going to return the other wheelchair that I was using because it's too heavy and it hurts my back more. But yeah, so like, they're not being helpful. My feet are swelling up randomly. They swole up in the hospital, and the doctor didn't even really want to check them. He was more focused on the heart thing. And, yeah, so like, my feet swell up so bad in the hospital, my husband had to take my shoes off. And now I've been wearing I've been calling them the Jesus sandals, you know, the Birkenstocks, where things like that. But I wear socks with sandals because my feet get cold, but then they swell up. And so that's what's been going on with all of that in particular. Okay, so in conclusion, basically, I was technically fine. And funny enough, I actually talked to my friend, and she was like, have you ever had a history of like your heart racing like that? And I'm like, yeah, this isn't the first time, come to think of it, I've had my heart rate be kind of elevated. Ironically, when I was in pain, I actually had a kidney stone at the time, the last time I got checked for an elevated heart rate, and I do suffer from anxiety. So I'm just sitting here like, maybe the heart racing is a result of that, but they did say the reason they were super duper concerned is the fact that the blood pressure was not matching the heart rate. And so I Googled it for anyone who is curious. A couple of things to look out for when it comes to an elevated heart rate is, or conditions that can cause increased heart rate. I Googled it. If you have an infection, they said normal reactions to having a fast heart rate is physical activity, stress and anxiety, a fever, like if you're sick. Lifestyle factors could be caffeine, alcohol, which I drink a lot of coffee, but I don't drink because I'm afraid of the alcohol reacting to my medication I'm on right now. Smoking, I don't smoke. Medications, which we don't know because they can't seem to figure this out. Dehydration, I have been drinking a lot of water and ginger ale lately. Medical conditions, I'm reading a list. Arrhythmias, which is like a irregular heart rhythm that can cause the heart to beat too fast or too slow. Different heart problems like coronary, I can't even say it right. Coronary artery disease. I can say the word when I'm not reading it. Go figure. Heart failure can also lead to that. Hyperthyroidism, like your overactive thyroid. Anemia, which I do have, which comes and goes. Low blood sugar can cause it. High blood pressure, I don't have. And those were the main ones I saw. And this is like don't come for me, this is like the AI overview that has like taken all the information and kind of condensed it down. So anybody who's dealing with it, the official term for it is tachycardia. So if you are actually dealing with this kind of health condition, it could be an underlying cause of a lot of other things. It's just in my situation, it came to the conclusion that it was like inconclusive. They didn't really know what was wrong with me. And so they kind of left it at that. So yeah, that was my experience on Friday of going to the ER and not really doing much with it. Also, I will go ahead and do a segment after this for anybody who's like actually curious about this game and maybe a little bored watching me play and watching my brain just kind of go at it, and explain exactly what I did. And I'll post them back to back. So if anyone's curious, they can actually just watch it. I hope you enjoyed. I know I try to give pretty coherent information pertaining to my current situation. I don't know a lot about different health ailments, but I am good for Googling. and looking up some of this stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be back soon. If you do like watching these videos, definitely like and subscribe. More than likely, my wheelchair journey will be over the course of a lot of different video games. I'm not going to stick to one video game because right now, because I don't feel well, I'm just playing games that kind of keep me in higher spirits or keep me distracted from everything that is going on. So I will make a playlist that kind of keeps all the wheelchair situation stuff in order with my health stuff. And then I'll also have the videos in order of how I played them. So you can watch them either in order of how they're played, or you can watch it in order of if you're just trying to get the tea spilled about what happened. So either way, you'll have both playlists to kind of bounce off of. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and this will be probably Wheelchair Chronicles Part 2. I don't know what I'm going to call the playlist just yet. I might give it a Ratchet name because I am good for Ratchet videos when it comes to my wheelchair situation. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here because I am running out of steam, and I will keep rambling, and it will just be very, very long. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.